This is Justin AMZN for Friday, October 26, 2018, and we had earnings. This is the daily chart. This is the candle that I wanted to have on Thursday. Instead, Thursday we gapped up, rallied, and then Friday we gapped down below it. Actually below the low, looking like we were going to continue from here. Maybe we can just go back and ignore Thursday like it didn't happen and then rally from here. Anyway, that won't happen. But yeah, so we've got a really indecisive candle at a great location where we had prior resistance, resistance, resistance. Now is it's going to be support. That's what we're going to have to wait and see. If we jump into the 5-minute, we looked at a little bit of this, came down. This is a great place to buy if you were trading after hours down into our 1617.54 price that rallied, and then this is where we left off looking at for the last video. Then pre-market today broke down, came down into some more of our lines in here. We've got a few in this whole range. Didn't quite come down into 1580, but obviously it's come into the 1500s. I thought it was going to hold 1600, or at least the 1617 price, which it did do pretty well with almost 4 touches on this line today. So this to me looks like, let me see if I can sketch this in here. Where's my drawing? Annotate, draw. All right, so down, up, and then I'm just gonna kind of group all that together. That to me looks like an inverted head and shoulders. I saw this happen right here. I'm like, yeah, that was way too quick, compared to how drawn out these were. It's like, yeah, that needs to go back down again. We're not ready to go up from here. But anyway, I traded that virtually, but I got into options when it was way down here. I'm like, it shouldn't be back down here yet. And it rallied, and I got out way up in here, somewhere near this range, and just made a nice little gain. Totally doable in virtual trading. Not sure how things would have filled with the live market, but it was pretty crazy to see that sort of move so quickly down, and then a rally, and then chop back down again. But seeing this being in inverted head and shoulder, I thought this was going to break out, retest, and then continue. And it obviously did not, went down to sideways. So clear all this. If we just look at a couple key things, this level way up here, almost to 1700, actually, yeah, really close to 1700. That's a retest of the open price from Thursday. We actually retested, the open here. Didn't retest the close, the actual price we gapped down from, but I just thought it was really interesting that we came back into the prior day's low. So let's zoom in on, so you see the inverted head and shoulders didn't work, but with that idea, you could have been playing, any sort of a dip down here as a buy. This one would have been tricky to play, probably got stopped out of that one. And then as this one was forming, let's see the lows here. This is a bullish engulfing, and then it went sideways. Looks like it should continue. It didn't. It broke down, and then it reversed. But you've got tweezer bottoms right here on this 5-minute, and this is, it is the same low, but it is the bullish candle is an inside candle, and then you can take the breakout. So getting it up at 1625 with a stop at 1614.99, something like that. Maybe not that tight, but anyway, that would have worked and just held that into a previous pivot like this, and exited some, and just hold on to it and exit the high of the day, or again trail your stop and then exit the next available level, which was yesterday or Thursday's low. So really interesting how this just kind of really kept rallying and formed a double bottom, formed tweezer bottom, broke out with 5 bullish candles in a row, probably going to pull back into the neckline. Let's see the high of these candles, 1631.27, 1631.40, 1631.78. So almost right exactly into that same high right here. So some good opportunities to be buying. The only challenge was all the options just trying to lose their premium as quickly as they can over the course of 6.5 hours of the open market. And yeah, how high did this get? 1665. So our line is at 27 cents. So that came really close. I exited somewhere in here. I think I exited here. It's like, yeah, that looks like it's going to roll down. And it did. So I was happy to get out. This candle or this sell off here, a retest into that same level, that's really nice. This triangle here and then a breakdown. You could have traded the breakdown, could have traded a retest with it here. If you got in on the retest, then it just kind of grinded lower to sideways. The lows through here are about the same as the neckline around 1630 that we'd seen earlier in the day. So there's not a line here at 1630, but it seems like that's an important level right now. But overall, had a bearish candle, had a lot of indecision, had a few different triangles. This one with the lower highs here, relative lows here, broke out, retested, also formed the double bottom in here. There's a lot of different patterns going on. Even some stair step in here, this continuation coming up here into a reversal, a Marbozu type candle, something similar to Marbozu. So a lot of different things going on. Let's look at some key values. Had you been eyeing this up here, you could have got into puts. Those puts were under $1. The 1650 put was under $1 and went from under $1 all the way up to $20. That would have been huge to hold through all that. Don't know if you would have. You could have taken profit at almost $10 or held through a sideways pullback in here where it came back and put a low around 5 and then went up to 15. So even that, buying at 5 and a stop at 4 or 3 if you need a little larger R, and running up to 15, that would have been, if you had a $100 R, that could have been a 10-hour trade right there. So a lot of opportunities, just being patient for it to come into levels and not to speculate so much. So this was sort of speculating that, hey, it's been so bullish here and where are we actually headed, where you just wait till you get some consolidation like this, like these candles. Looking at calls, seeing this double bottom, seeing this tweezer bottom here. Let's say we got in at the 1015 candle for the call. So 1015, that would have been this. I'm looking at the 1650 calls. That call, let's see, the range on this was 262, so that's pretty wide. The range on these was still a little bit under 2, so it would have been tough to trade that. But again, the retest. The low over here was 551. The low here is 6. So, let's say you were trying to get in on this candle. The low on this candle was 463. So $100 or $1 higher on that, maybe 563. And the low at 463. Still really tight. But anyway, you got to wait for some of these things to actually form. So even though it did a double bottom, the option price at these lows was not that much larger than at these lows or at this breakout. And so you can take advantage of, all the option premium getting sucked out. Even after a bullish move like that, a little bit of bearishness is going to just suck the premium out. We're still out of the money. We were, sorry, excuse me. We didn't quite get into the money, so that may have looked like a rejection of the at the money strike, but a pullback here right into the 21 and actually had a squeeze form and then trigger on this candle bullish, I think. Trying to figure out. Yeah, I think it was a bullish trigger there. And then that continued on up for many bars, like 20 something bars, till it got to its actual high. But getting in on this retest, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm still dealing with this cough and I did not hit mute. Sorry about that. Had a rally out of here that you could have bought around here, not the initial bounce, waited about half an hour later, gotten in and just held through, a big move up. Exited some at the high of the day, but let's say you got in at, let's say conservatively you got in at 7 and a stop down at 5. 7 by 5, $200. Had you held, somehow held to this high, exited at 27, that would have been a 10R trade just on that sort of move. Just waiting, waiting for it to move on up into the high, into a previous pivot would have been an opportunity to take advantage of. So a lot of opportunities today, a lot of chopping around within these prices that we've had drawn in here for a while. Come in the daily, they're relevant again. So let's keep an eye on those, see what happens the next couple of days, see if we get some inside candles in here, and then see what direction the market decides to send this in. It could go lower, but I like that we had an indecision candle here, another one here, and we were up above it for for quite a few days. So I'm going to stop recording now because I need to stop talking. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is Just Amazon.